Hello, and welcome to Get Inspired. I am very glad that you are here, because today we are going to talk about something important for each of us: how to deal with difficult life situations. At least once in our lives, each of us has faced moments when everything seems to be falling apart, when it seems that there is no way out, and you are left alone with difficulties. But, in fact, every crisis is an opportunity for growth and self-improvement. Life's difficulties are an integral part of our journey. They can relate to work, relationships, health, finances, or personal development. But the main thing is not what we face, but how we respond to these challenges. How often have you found yourself thinking that the problem is too big? Have you ever felt helpless? The purpose of this video is to give you practical steps to ensure that you not only cope with difficulties, but come out of them stronger. In today's world, the level of stress and tension is constantly increasing. Pressure from society, personal circumstances, and even global events such as pandemics or economic crises all affect our emotional and psychological state. However, there are specific techniques and approaches that can help us remain resilient and not lose ourselves in the most difficult moments. Today, I will share these tools with you. Accepting difficulties. Why it is important to accept the situation. Acceptance is the first step to overcoming difficulties. Very often we face resistance within ourselves. We don't want to admit that the situation is out of our control or that it has changed so much that we can no longer influence it. For example, you may be in denial because you lost your job or because your relationship ended. But denial doesn't change the fact. It only increases your emotional pain and stress. Acceptance as a basis for further action. Accepting reality gives you the space to take new actions. It does not mean that you agree with the situation or stop trying to change it. Acceptance means that you recognize that a problem exists and realize that you now need to find a solution. This is the first step to getting out of any difficult situation. An example of a life situation. Think of the example of Nelson Mandela. He spent 27 years in prison. It could break anyone, but he accepted his situation, used this time to develop and plan for the future. He didn't waste energy resisting reality, but instead used it to change himself and his perspectives. Practical tips for accepting the situation. To make it easier to accept the situation, you can use the following techniques: journaling, meditation, or counseling. This will allow you to better understand your emotions and thoughts and come to a conscious understanding of what is happening around you. Focusing on the solution. Why it's important to focus on the solution. Very often, when we face difficulties, we get hung up on the problem itself. We can spend a lot of time and energy thinking about what went wrong, who is to blame, why it happened. However, this process only makes the situation worse. What we really need to do is shift our focus from the problem to the solution as soon as possible. The power of changing your perspective. When you change your focus, it opens up new possibilities. Imagine that there is a huge wall in front of you. If you keep looking at it, it will seem like there is no way out. But if you start looking for ways around it, you may find a door or an opportunity to climb over it. That's what a change of focus is. Practical questions to find solutions. Ask yourself questions such as, what can I do to change the situation? Or, how can I change my attitude to this situation so that it no longer has such an impact on me? Questions like these switch you from being passive to active, and you start looking for real solutions. A real-life example. Bill Gates, one of the most influential businessmen of our time, once said, "Your unhappiest customers are your greatest learning resource." This applies not only to business, but also to life. Every time you face a problem, you have the opportunity to learn something new and find a way to improve the situation. Specific techniques for finding solutions. One technique that helps many people is to keep a list of possible solutions. Write down everything that comes to mind, even if some options seem unrealistic. This will give you a sense of control and the ability to see that there are multiple ways to handle the situation. The importance of taking care of yourself under stress. When we face difficulties, we often forget about our own health and well-being. We immerse ourselves in the problem, ignoring our own needs. But taking care of yourself is an important part of the process of overcoming crises. The role of stress in life. Stress is the body's natural response to challenges. In certain doses, stress is even beneficial because it motivates us to act. But chronic stress can be physically and emotionally draining. Therefore, it is very important to be able to manage stress. Stress management techniques. One of the most effective ways to relieve stress is through breathing practices. Deep breathing helps to relax the body and reduces the level of cortisol, the stress hormone. You can try the 4-7-8 breathing technique, where you inhale for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 7 seconds, and exhale for 8 seconds. Physical activity. Another important aspect of stress management is physical activity. Studies show that regular exercise helps reduce stress levels and improves mood through the production of endorphins. Even a short walk can have a positive impact on your well-being. Practical tips for self-care. Find time for yourself every day. It can be a short meditation, exercise, or just time to relax. Make it a priority because your mental and physical health affect your ability to cope with difficulties. Support and communication. Don't be afraid to ask for help. One of the most common myths about coping is that you have to do it alone. We often feel shame or fear of being vulnerable, so we don't ask for help. But no one should have to go through difficult moments alone. The importance of communication. Talking to friends, family, or even professionals such as psychologists or coaches can help you see things from a different perspective. Sometimes we just need to talk it out, to understand our thoughts and feelings. Example: imagine Winston Churchill during World War II. He was making some of the hardest decisions of his life, but even he turned to his inner circle for advice and support. This reminds us that strength is not in isolation, but in connecting with those who can help. Tips for building supportive relationships. Build relationships with people you trust, who support you in difficult times. This can be a friend, a family member, or even new acquaintances in specialized support groups. Positive thinking and rethinking hardship. Positive thinking doesn't mean you ignore reality or become overly optimistic. It means that you choose to focus on the opportunities and lessons you can learn from difficulties. Difficulties as an opportunity for growth. Every crisis is an opportunity for self-improvement. Difficulties allow us to expand our boundaries, learn new skills, and better understand ourselves. They temper our character and give us strength. Practical tips for positive thinking. Try keeping a gratitude diary. Every day, write down 3 things you are grateful for, even in the most difficult moments. This will help you change your focus from negative to positive and notice the good things that are around you. An example of rethinking. Think of famous athletes who have suffered serious injuries but come back even stronger. They used this time to rehabilitate and develop mental toughness. In the same way, you can rethink your difficulties as a period of preparation for something bigger. In conclusion, remember that each of us has the ability to overcome difficulties. The key is to accept reality, focus on solutions, take care of yourself, and seek support. Your strength is not in not facing challenges, but in how you handle them. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Share your experience in the comments. How do you cope with difficulties? Let's support each other and grow together. See you in our new videos.